Hey, this is Dr. Berry. Let's talk for a few minutes about low carb sources of magnesium. Now, we all have figured out that we need to lower our carbohydrate intake to help stay as healthy as possible to prevent inflammation and chronic disease. And so I'm going to give you 7 low carb sources that you can get plenty of magnesium from. If you know anything about magnesium, you know that it's great for your heart, it's great for your lungs. People with asthma do better when they have a good magnesium intake. Constipation gets better with magnesium. You sleep better with magnesium. And people who are migraineurs have fewer migraines and less severe migraines when their magnesium is optimized. This is very important because so many people in Western society are depleted in magnesium. If your doctor checks your magnesium level in your serum, it'll be normal, but that does not mean that you have enough magnesium stored in your cells, which is where your body stores it. And so you can have severe magnesium depletion and still have a normal blood test. So don't let that fool you. Now, if this sounds interesting to you and you like topics such as this, please click the subscribe button right now, and then we can be done with that and move on to the video. So let's talk about the 7 low-carb sources for magnesium. The first one I want to talk about is red meat and organ meat, okay? All red meat is a good source of magnesium. Organs, liver is a great source of magnesium. Probably the best source of magnesium at all is heart. Not a lot of us are eating heart yet, but if you know a butcher, they can blend heart and liver into your ground beef, and they can also adjust the fatty levelness of your ground beef so that you can get a very fatty ground beef with liver and heart included, and you won't even be able to taste the heart or the liver, and you'll get tons of good minerals, including magnesium. Another great source of magnesium is fatty fish like mackerel, salmon, halibut, sardines, anchovies. All these guys are whole foods. They're wild caught if you get wild caught. But the thing I love about sardines and anchovies is they're so tiny that you can't make profit growing them in a pond in China, feeding them nuclear waste. And so if you're eating sardines and anchovies and smaller fish like that, like herring, you know that you're not getting a farm raised or factory raised fish. You got to watch out for the salmon and mackerel because they're big enough that you can make a profit on them. So make sure they're wild caught. Another is cheese. And when I say cheese, I'm talking about whole fat deli cheese. Don't ever buy cheese from the dairy section of the grocery. If you do, if it's already shredded or sliced, it almost certainly has some maltodextrin or some kind of little carb or some kind of little additive to keep it from sticking together. And you don't need that. You don't want cheese-like food product. You want real cheese that the deli personnel slice for you or that you shred when you get home, right? The next is leafy greens. All the leafy greens are an amazing source of magnesium. They're also a source of potassium and tons of other great nutrition. So eat your leafy greens. Another is seeds. And the two best, lowest carb choices that have the highest magnesium are chia seeds and pumpkin seeds, both of which I love, thankfully, but they are great sources of tons of minerals, magnesium included. Another source of magnesium is nuts. Now, some nuts have too many carbs. My favorite of all time, the cashew, is very carby, and so I don't eat those anymore. But I do eat Brazil nuts, walnuts, not peanuts. No, don't eat peanuts. Pecans and macadamias. Those guys have good amounts of magnesium. They also have selenium and other things that you really, really need, and they're relatively low carb. Now, when I'm eating carnivore, obviously I don't eat leafy greens or seeds or nuts, so I have to get my magnesium from red meat, fatty fish, and cheese, and I seem to be doing okay with that. Another great source, if you're trying to be relatively low carb, is avocado. Avocado does have some carbohydrates in it. You have to count those, but it has a ton of magnesium, a ton of potassium, much better for you than whole wheat or legumes or bananas. And so everything on my list, this is relatively speaking. So yeah, avocado is low carb compared to a banana, right? And so if you're just coming to the ketogenic or the low carb way of eating, avocados are 1,000 times better than a banana if you're trying to get potassium and magnesium. And then the final one I want to talk about is kind of a treat, But if you watch what you buy, you can actually get a very healthy version of this, and that's real, very high percentage dark chocolate. If you don't watch it, the manufacturer will put a lot of sugar in there, and they might call it molasses or cane syrup and try to trick you. But if you look at the total carbs, that's what counts, right? And you can, even 1 ounce of some dark chocolates have a big chunk of the recommended daily intake of magnesium in it. And so that's a good way to get some magnesium occasionally. Now, some people need to supplement with magnesium. If you're eating all these foods and you're still having cramps or constipation or a little trouble sleeping, or your asthma's acting up, or your migraines are a little too active, then you might consider a magnesium supplement. And I put a link down below to the one that Nisha and I use. If you know someone who might need to have their magnesium optimized, please share this. Did you know you can click the share button and you can share this on Pinterest, Facebook, everywhere? You can share it anywhere in the world. You can even copy the link and send it in an email or a text message. It's really cool how YouTube does that. So if my videos that I make here have helped your health in some way and helped you improve your health, consider clicking on the Patreon link right down there. It's a quick sign up and you can throw a buck or two my way to help me have more time to make more videos just like this one. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time.